1440, last but not least. Good morning, it's Monday, July 6th, and we're covering a reopening in London, a possible change in Washington, and ongoing protests across the U.S. Need to know, London toasts again. Pubs and restaurants in London officially reopened over the weekend, the most significant easing of restrictions in the city since a lockdown went into effect more than 100 days ago. That is inhuman. While a wave of hospital visits from inebriated patients was avoided, officials reported many revelers ignored required social distancing rules. New daily COVID-19 cases in the UK have gradually fallen to below 1,000 per day, and the country has not yet seen a resurgence comparable to the US. Well, for one thing, they don't have Mexico on their southern border. Most of London reported fewer than 10 cases for every 100,000 residents over the past week. However, an increase in cases from resumed activity wouldn't be apparent for weeks. In the U.S., new daily cases dipped below 50,000 for the first time in 4 days. The holiday may have slowed reporting, while worldwide cases notched a new record, passing 212,000 in a 24-hour period. Florida reached 200,000 confirmed cases, doubling its total in less than 2 weeks after hitting the 100,000 mark June 22nd. The U.S. daily death toll continues to remain low, with the 7-day average around 500, which has been attributed to the virus's spread in younger, lower-risk populations. Exactly. The U.S. has reported 2.88 million total cases, with 129,947 alleged deaths as of this morning. See the 3-day moving average here. Yeah, about those younger, lower-risk people, I'm thinking back in March, if we hadn't locked them down, if we had just let the healthy people go about their daily lives, doing their work, keeping their jobs, keeping their companies going, our economy would not be suffering. Some of them would have gotten it and survived because they're healthy. We would have achieved at least some level of the fabled herd immunity that we've heard so much about, that I'm pretty sure they got that in Sweden. That's why nobody's talking about Sweden anymore, is because Sweden did it. And nobody wants to recognize, nobody wants to admit that. Anyway, if we had done that way back in March, April, some level of herd immunity had been achieved, maybe this second wave wouldn't be deadly for as many people. Our deaths are low now. Perhaps our deaths would be even lower. I'm just saying. Separately, we're reading how R0, the virus's reproduction number, became the most misunderstood metric of the panic. Never heard about that. Redskins under pressure. Under pressure. The NFL's Washington Redskins are considering a change to their team name ahead of the 2020 season, sources say. Top sponsors are under pressure to sever ties with the franchise, and everybody's under pressure. Top sponsors are under pressure. They're putting pressure on the Redskins. And FedEx, who sponsors the team's stadium, requested the team make a change last week. Oh, it was just a request, right? Just a request, just a friendly request. Nike has reportedly removed the team's apparel from its online store. Yeah, there's that too. The change would be the latest spillover effect of nationwide protests that have evolved into a broader racial and social reckoning. Estimates say the brand is worth more than $230 million of the franchise's $3.4 billion valuation, and owner Dan Snyder has refused alterations despite years of criticism. One top contender to replace the name is the Red Tails, an homage to the Tuskegee Airmen, the Black World War II squadron whose planes had distinctly colored tails. In related news, baseball's Cleveland Indians are also considering a change. So you wanna take homage away from the warrior Native Americans and give the homage to the black people, because black people are so much more oppressed than Native Americans. Yeah, they've had it so much worse. It's not offensive. It's not offensive. Because if it truly was offensive to actual real Native American people, then they would have probably changed it a long time ago. But Native Americans, when polled, have not mostly gone for it being offensive. Mostly, it's not. And yeah, that pressure. If they do change their name, it's not gonna be some big victory. It's not gonna be because, oh my gosh, you guys were right. It was such an offensive name. We should never have done that. No, it's just gonna be because they didn't have any other choice, because their sponsors and even officials in Washington, D.C. are telling them that they have to change their name, or they can't use their stadium or whatever. They can't play in Washington, or they can't get their money from their sponsors. This is force. This is fascism. Seattle protester dies. One person was killed and another critically injured after a car swerved through a group of Seattle protesters Saturday. The incident occurred in the overnight hours on a stretch of I-5, that's a highway, y'all, that had been closed for weeks due to ongoing racial justice protests. It was not clear whether the attack was targeted, though police say the driver, Dawit Khalid, likely drove around State Patrol barricades to enter. Khalid has been charged with 2 counts of vehicular assault. Officials said freeway protests would be prohibited going forward. Dawit Khalid, by the way, is not a white person. Far from it. Also, he was like a delivery driver for Uber Eats or something like that. So, weeks of this highway being closed. You're a driver, you're like, oh my gosh, this highway's been sitting empty all this time. I've been having to drive the long way around, losing money, burning gas. So, one day, he just decides he's gonna sneak up there. Who's gonna know? Because it's an empty highway. But, lo and behold, there are, for some reason, protesters in the middle of the highway. Even though there are no cars, the highway's closed. What the fuck are they accomplishing? Absolutely nothing. Nobody knows they're there, clearly. And somebody dies, and somebody gets hurt. Many protests have shifted toward tearing down statues and symbols critics say memorialize past racial injustice. A statue of Christopher Columbus was toppled and tossed into Baltimore's Inner Harbor Saturday, while a large group of armed protesters marched through Georgia's Stone Mountain, whose carved edifice is the country's largest Confederate memorial. And supposedly no vandalism was conducted. However, they did challenge white supremacists to battle, pretty much. They were all armed. As it says there, they were armed. And somebody was yelling through a loudspeaker, hey, something about white supremacists. Where are you? Come out. We're here. Come and fight us. Anyway, separately, President Trump, by the way, tearing down statues and symbols critics say memorialize past racial injustice. They tore down Frederick Douglass. You're not going to talk about that, are you, 1440? I thought you were objective. Separately, President Trump, who criticized attempts to tear down monuments in a July 3rd speech at Mount Rushmore, announced a new National Garden of American Heroes. Yep. A list of some statues to be included can be found here. Finally, a flag-burning hoax reportedly drew armed militia members to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Okay. A National Garden sounds pretty cool. And the criteria for American heroes does not necessarily exclude certain Confederate hero types. Just saying. In the know. Sports, entertainment, and culture. Nick Cordero, what is this? Discussion, Christian Toto on President Kanye. Yeah, good for him. Breaking news, Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. Daily Wire, the latest from Andrew Clavin. Republican men without chests. I believe that means without any courage or whatever. Where was I? Tony-nominated Broadway actor dies at 41 after months-long battle with the coronavirus. Earl Cameron, black actor who broke barriers in British film and TV industry, dies at 102. Damn, good for him. UK arts and culture sector gets $2 billion in relief funds from the government. Okay. And some leading American actors, including Tom Cruise, will be exempt from the UK's 14-day travel quarantine. Okay. That's actor privilege. I wonder if any of them are black. NBA and Players Union agree on 29 social justice messages for player uniforms this season. NBA and Players Union agree on 29 social justice messages for player uniforms this season. Oh, that's so woke and virtuous. 5-star basketball recruit McCord Maker selects Howard University, becoming first top prospect to commit to an historically black college since at least 2007. Science and technology. Ancient Mayan mining operations discovered by cave divers off Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. The 12,000-year-old site was believed to be a source of red ochre pigment. Cool. Rocket Lab's Electron rocket fails shortly after launch in New Zealand, losing the vehicle and payload of satellites meant to be placed into orbit. Sad. Physicists find proof for the existence of quasi-particles known as anyons, theorized 4 decades ago. 2D structures are made of collective excitations of electrons and have applications in quantum computing. Cool. Business and markets, brought to you by The Ascent. Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway to acquire natural gas assets from Dominion Energy for nearly $10 billion. Yeah, let's make Warren Buffett even more powerful. Well, I don't know. I don't really know anything about Warren Buffett. I just know he's super rich. Denim retailer Lucky Brand files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy amid pandemic. That's panic. Will shutter stores as part of restructuring. Wells Fargo / Gallup Investor Index, which measures outlook for investing environment, sees largest quarterly drop in history. A credit card that packs up to $1,148 of value? Secure the highest cashback rate on the market that we've come across, with no annual fee to boot. I'm guessing that's the ad from The Ascent. Politics and world affairs. Australian officials abruptly impose a strict coronavirus lockdown for 9 public housing towers in Melbourne. Oh my. Public housing towers. Nearly 3,000 residents barred from leaving for at least 5 days. Sounds like peach trees. I'm referencing Dread right now. French President Emmanuel Macron replaces Prime Minister, expected to announce a reshuffling of major cabinet members today. I wonder why. What did they do? 20 Saudis go on trial in absentia in Turkey over the killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi, who was murdered inside the Saudi Arabian consulate in Istanbul in 2018. Etc. The best Independence Day photos from around the country. Watch descendants of Frederick Douglass read his famous Independence Day speech. Hot dog eating records fall once again. Hot dog eating records fall once again. Oh, so yeah, the old records fell to make room for the new one. Okay. That was 75 hot dogs, by the way. Joey Chestnut. Is it Joey Chestnut? Anyway, the woman's was broken too. It was like, 48.5 hot dogs. From our partners, this company lets you create a website you're proud of. Its intuitive platform has drag-and-drop versatility and tools to bring virtually any idea to your page. Get started today. And what is that? Wix. Wix.com. Here are the best ways to stargaze in July. Japanese man graduates with a degree in ninja studies. Cool beans. Inmates are breaking out on TikTok. America may finally be running out of fireworks. What? Ever wonder what space smells like? Either way, here's the answer. Okay. Clickbait. Kanye West 2020. What about 2024? Why does it have to be 2020? Doesn't he like Trump? Pretty sure he's gonna vote for Trump. 2024. I mean, I don't know that I would vote for him because I don't trust him. Just like I didn't vote for Trump the first time, but I didn't trust him. We'll see. History book. Artist Frida Kahlo born 1907. First MLB All-Star Game held 1933. Happy birthday George W. Bush 1946. Althea Gibson becomes first African American to win Wimbledon 1957. Rest in peace Louis Armstrong 1971. Musicians don't retire. They stop when there's no more music in them. Louis Armstrong. That's sad. Did Louis Armstrong run out of music? Oh. Stars shining bright above me. Above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. While I'm alone and blue as can be, dream a little dream of me. The end. Thank you and goodbye.